Hey, what's up guys? Today it's Bobby's turn here to get some attention as spring is right around the corner. Well, actually, I think we're on about third winter at this point, but it won't be long and spring will be here, and I'll be putting Bobby to good use out in the yard, so naturally it makes perfect sense to get him all cleaned up before I do that.
Okay guys, here's Bobby in all his glory. He's been hard at work lately doing all kinds of things like moving mulch, moving rocks, and of course moving some snow around this past winter. But honestly, it doesn't usually take more than one job to get him good and dirty, so as usual, every inch is going to need to be cleaned from butt to bucket. But before I get started, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and if you're excited to see how Bobby turns out today, hit that thumbs up button too.
Alright guys, well just before I get started spraying Bobby off here, I wanted to let you know that I'm not really going to be attacking this any differently than I have the previous two times that I've cleaned him. Even though it's not quite as muddy as it was last time I cleaned it, there's still a fair bit of dirt and there's mulch and rust in the bucket here to get sprayed out, so I kind of have to be pretty thorough regardless. The engine bay needs to be done too. But being that it's only been about 7 months since I did it last, I don't think I'm going to lift the cap today and clean under there. Really shouldn't be very dirty. We'll see though, I might make a decision on the fly later. But the one thing I am going to be doing differently is though, when I get the bucket off in a little bit, I'm going to pop over to the shop and grab my auger that I've been using to dig holes for all the trees I've been planting out in the yard. And it's very dirty, very muddy, so we'll get that cleaned up as well. And yeah, everything will be ready to go for spring.
Alright, well as I move to spraying out the bucket, I'm going to go ahead and actually curl the bucket out a little bit. That way water should run out a bit better and will hopefully result in less water splashing onto my face. But if you're wondering how the bucket got rusty like this, well, I was clearing snow about a month ago, and when I brought Bobby back inside the shop, the snow that was still on the bucket melted, and I of course forgot to come back out and dump it out. Unfortunate, but it's just surface rust and will eventually come off once I start hauling material again this spring. Now just before I unhook the bucket and take it off, I need to spray off the underside, so I'll very carefully get it lifted up and into position where I can see what I'm doing, and thankfully there isn't too much for material stuck on the bottom here, unlike last time where there was a pile of reclaimed asphalt which was very difficult to remove. Okay, as I hop back inside Bobby now, I figured I'd give you a bit of background on the machine. For those of you who might be new to the channel, my Bobcat here is a 2022 S590, which I got in March of 2022, And since then, I've been using it for all kinds of things out here on my acreage. Now, if you want to see footage of that and all the work that I've been doing, it's all available for you over on my other channel, The Yard Geek, where I've been documenting the development of my acreage from bare land into my dream yard. If you haven't checked it out yet, feel free to do so. I'm hoping I can get some new videos out to you guys soon. I've just unfortunately been a little overextended for the past while, and I'm doing my best to work through that and get you guys more content.
All right guys, well now that I've got everything sprayed off here, I'm gonna hop in Bobby and use him to go grab the auger attachment from the shop so I can get that clean too. And while it's not exactly the most ideal thing to have to take Bobby out into the snow to do that, it is kind of just the way that this has to work, because I don't want to have to bring stuff in here and be, moving it around, turning Bobby on the floor and, potentially leaving tire marks on the floor. So whatever dirt he picks up on the tires on the way, to and from, whatever. Shouldn't take more than a minute to spray it off when I'm done. All right, let's go get the auger. Well, you can see that I've got a set of pallet forks here that are in the way, so I'm going to move these first. Very carefully slide these out of the pallet. Here, throw them right here. Okay, let's go get that auger. Bit of a delicate operation here. I don't want to, wreck, scratch my pallet that I kind of got this sitting on, so I'm gonna be careful with what I'm doing. All right, well, just before I get this sprayed off, I figured I'd give you a little demonstration of how this auger works. So I'll lift it up for you and kind of show you, but first I need to get these locking pins into the plate so that it doesn't fall off when I lift it up. And I don't want to hit the fan either, so I gotta be careful. Well, basically, as you see, it's an 18-inch auger, and basically I hook up those two hydraulic lines and hit auxiliary there, and then this switch here, there's a switch right back here.
that'll turn it on and off. There's another button can actually change the rotation. It will run and speed up with higher engine speeds. But yeah, it's not too difficult to kind of figure out how to work. It is something that I do use by myself. So what I typically will do is I'll put a little flag kind of in the ground where I want to dig that hole. I'll gently lower it right like that and dig the hole. Yeah, it works really good. As you can see, I've used it a fair bit. If you guys have watched the Yard Geek channel, you would have definitely seen that. It's been shown quite a few times. But yeah, I'll get this thing put back down so I can spray it off easy, and we'll get her all cleaned up.
Well, I've never actually cleaned this auger yet, so I'm kind of hoping that I don't get sprayed in the face too bad.
Well, as I work on getting the auger sprayed off here, which I have to say has been a really good purchase, it doesn't take long to see that some of this dirt is really stuck on, though I guess that does make sense considering I haven't cleaned it since I got it 2 years ago, and it's dug a lot of holes over that time. Again, if you guys want to see what I've been working on out in the yard here, go check out the Yard Geek, as I'm sure you'll enjoy the videos, and I can promise you that there's some absolutely massive things coming, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you get notified when new videos drop.
All right guys, time to get the auger put back in the shop. Bring Bobby back over here so I can get him washed.
All right, well, putting this away is just as delicate of a endeavor as it is when I'm trying to get it out of here. I guess we should unlock this first. All right, and just go until we're almost touching there. And of course I can't see, so. Really don't know. I think I'm far enough. I don't know. Let's hope so. Success. Okay, let's grab the forks. One thing to note, if you do ever find yourself operating a bobcat or a skid steer or anything, that when you don't have a bucket or attachment on the front end to weigh that front end down, you are very tippy. It's very easy to tip yourself backwards. Ask me how I know. Yeah, I've had a few oh crap moments in this thing, but that's how you learn, right? So learn what not to do. And with careful precision, we will get this put back in here as well. Which I can see a little bit better on this one. This one's a little easier. Just like that. Okay, time to get Bobby washed.
And just as I finished spraying Bobby off here, I completely forgot that I need to take care of the wheel still, so I'll quickly get that done and then start on the wash process. Okay, well this might seem like overkill to some, but I'm of course giving Bobby a foam bath with some of my Mega Foam, but in my mind this is highly necessary anytime I clean him because there's a ton of crevices and they're always dirty, so using my detail brush to lift the dirt out really is a critical step to ensuring a perfect job today. Now as I start on the hand wash here, I just wanted to point out that the whole exterior detail process is pretty much the same as it is on other vehicles, but one thing I'm watching out for here with the Bobcat is all the grease that spills out of the hinge and pivot points. It loves to collect dust, and since the pressure washer can only get so much of it off, I'm making sure to get the rest with my wash mitt. Now just like you guys saw the last time I did Bobby, the engine is once again filthy, which really doesn't take much when you're working in the dirt. So I'll start by getting some degreaser sprayed on, then I'll agitate with a variety of brushes, rinse it off, and then dry everything, leaving it looking brand new and guaranteed cleaner than every other skid steer in existence.
Okay guys, well the exterior is all done, well at least for now. So it's time to turn my attention inside, where it's actually quite a bit of a challenge to kind of clean efficiently and effectively in here. There's not a lot of room to move around. It's quite tight, and yeah, it's kind of hard to reach some places, but like I've done in the other couple times that I've cleaned Bobby, I've kind of got a bit of a process figured out. So I'm gonna start with the vacuum real quick, and then I've decided not to lift the cab up today. I don't think I'll have any issue getting this these footwells kind of sprayed out, washed out, and then I'll grab the steamer and blast all the dust out of the crevices, and yeah, that should be pretty much it here. So yeah, I'm gonna grab the vacuum.
Okay, with everything vacuumed now, I'll get started on the footwells here, which are always going to be the dirtiest area inside the Bobcat. But thankfully, with these drain covers out, I can actually just grab the garden hose and spray things out in here. Of course, I could have lifted the cap to do this like I did last time, but I decided it wasn't necessary this time as it won't be very dirty underneath, since Bobby really hasn't been moving dirt all that much. So I'll save the in-depth clean for next time, and as for now, I'll spray these out, dry them, and that'll be it. Moving on to steaming now, and the process here is simple. Blast the dust out. No, really, that's it. Just blast the dust out. With the footwells clean, the rest of the interior is mostly just dusty, so using the steamer here won't take me too long, but it is an inherently challenging task trying to maneuver myself since there really isn't a lot of room inside. Okay, well there is one area that needs some of my all-purpose cleaner since the dirt does tend to build up here, but the steamer and APC combo makes quick work of it as always. And to answer a question I've gotten from a few people lately, yes, if you check the website out, the APC is pictured as a clear color now, while I'm using a green version, but that's simply because we recently changed the color of the APC formula, and I'm just working through my stockpile of the old stuff, so rest assured the product is the exact same, aside from the color. Of course, no detail of Bobby would be complete without applying some ceramic spray coating to all the paint, which is likely complete overkill to a lot of people, but for the couple of minutes that it takes, there's not really a good reason not to. I do recognize this is heavy equipment and not a show car or anything, but still, I want it to look as good as possible when I'm done, and if you were wondering how Bobby got that big scratch on the back, well, I'm 99.9% sure this is Mike's fault. He won't admit to it, of course, but I'm positive he backed into the big metal garbage bin out in front of the studio when he was helping me with the fall cleanup. I definitely wasn't happy when I saw that one. Alright guys, well the last step here is to get Bobby all greased up, which is something I do about every 10 hours of operation or so to keep him working perfectly, and I've started keeping a log on my phone as it's pretty easy to forget, but I do have to say that having this Milwaukee grease gun makes this job incredibly easy.
All right guys, well there you have it. Bobby here is all cleaned up and ready to get dirty again. Now, unfortunately that's just the way it is with heavy equipment, but that's okay. Bobby's gonna get put to work really soon. Not too sure what the first job of the year is gonna be. Might be throwing the pallet forks on and actually moving my hot tub, as I gotta build a bit of a pad for underneath it. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one, and if you did, make sure you smash the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, go ahead and click on this video right here. It's a good one, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.